One up, and thank you guys so much for the continued support. You guys are the best. I love you. I love you all so much. Let's get into it. So I'm going to start, like, this will be a Q&A at some point. But first I'll start with just, like, my experiences, yada yada, as we go through how the whole week went. I'll give you a rundown on how it all went down. So we'll start. It was Tuesday. I had a flight at 1, leaving here, and then that was a bad idea because I landed at 4 in LA, which means by the time I get my bag and all that stuff, it was gonna be rush hour in LA traffic. The place is only like 20 minutes away from LAX, and that took 2 hours. So that's always fun. So that was a good start of the day. But then we get there, get to meet everyone in the player lounge. So that was cool. The guys that were there, I saw like 10 of the guys also hanging out outside. So that was a good time. It's always nice seeing new players come in, obviously, and seeing the old players as well. And everyone's always really friendly. Some are more shy than others, but like there's no bad blood. I feel like at these events, everyone's having a good time. So like everyone knows that these experiences are just a place to like hang out with your friends, kind of. One thing that I always find extremely odd is none of these guys bring gaming laptops. Like none of them. When like they could be practicing extra, because what always happens is the next day is media day, which is Wednesday, but we'll get to that in a second. But then they have to set up the PCs on that day, and it always takes forever. Like, it's just the way it is. During the entire morning when you're there, you could easily be playing on your laptops, at least online or something with your team to, you know, to at least get some warm up in. So you're not completely cold over like 2 or 3 days, depending on travel. But a lot of these guys don't have gaming laptops, so it's kind of weird. Let me bring this over here. So yes, that's a little odd. But yeah, so Tuesday night is always fun because we always do a big dinner with the players and casters and parents and all that. So we did that on Tuesday night, and we went to City Walk. It's like Universal Studios was literally in walking distance of our hotel, which was kind of nice. It was like 5-minute walk, and then they have this whole giant like City Walk area, which is pretty neat. Right outside where you can actually go into theme park. So we ate out there, and it's just fun going to table and just chatting with everyone. I was chatting a lot with people about sponsors, about like orgs and stuff like that, like my experiences versus their experiences, and just having a good time talking with the players in general is always a good time. The parents were also there. Mostly who I talked to was Matt's mom and Turtle's mom. They're always, or at least Turtle's mom's always extremely friendly. And then Matt's mom, obviously, like, you've all seen her on Twitter. Very supportive of Matt, and she was having a blast. So it was good stuff. It was good to hang out with them as well. It's always good to see the family supporting these players, because I feel like that would help so much for these kids coming out here. So that's always nice to see. Timmy's mom was also there. I didn't talk to her too much. But, yeah, there was a couple other parents, but I didn't see a lot of them. But it's always nice to see parents come out and support their kids. So that's always a good time. Tuesday night's always the fun night. And then Wednesday we had media day. Mostly what I did was I was in charge of setting up casters to teams to do interview questions. And then I was kind of facilitating the schedule, kind of moving teams around here or there. So if you don't know what we do on media day, we do 2 interviews per player sometimes. Sometimes we split the players. We try to split the players a little bit more this week. But we do a player-focused interview and a team-focused interview, and then one gets played on day 1, one gets played on day 2 normally, but this was a 3-day event, so it was day 1 and day 3. So we don't get to see all of them. And then they have their photo shoots and stuff, and that's where you get the little video of them like walking up like with their arms crossed or whatever on the player cards. So that's all done on Wednesday because they need time to edit it and all that stuff. So it's usually a hectic day, but we actually had a rotation of 4 teams because we had 2 spots to interview, which was extremely nice compared to the previous ones where we would only have 1 interview spot and they would change it every time. So we would have to, like, because they don't want the same shot every single time. So they would have to move stuff around. But this time it was a little bit easier, and we had more teams. So that was a good old time. Did you open up Media Day to anyone from outside RLCS? No, Media Day is only, like, it's team-focused. The casters do the interview questions, and that's about it. Yeah, so it's just, like, there's no time to add in like extra teams or anything. Like we could have done maybe like a Cosmic Aftershock quick interview or something as like a fun little bumper before the show match, but but that stuff is not like organized. Like we know that we're gonna do the 10 teams and that's it. Maybe like in the future we'll do some more fun spots or something, but that's how we do it now. So that's usually a long day, and PCs were being set up that day. They got up a little bit late, which is kind of usual at this point. So players were a little frustrated, but then at the end of the day, they were fine because they were all starting to scrim. And that's when we started seeing scrims. And scrims is the most fun because you get to see how these teams are performing. Big question mark, obviously, was OCE coming in. Alpha Sydney was kicking ass in scrims. They were, like, literally beating everyone almost. So they were having a really good time. They started off losing to most of the Europes, and then they slowly, every single day, they were getting better and better versus these teams. Like, they were adapting so quickly. Most people saw that Jam, that wasn't the case for Jam. They were kind of struggling in most of their scrims, from what I heard. Like, I didn't catch every single scrim, but that's always fun to just see how these teams are starting to play against one another. And so that's what I usually base my picks on a bit. When we go into the live day. So it's going to be different than my bracket predictions that I started with, obviously saying that Alpha Sydney would win one game. Then I switched it on the day of and said they would beat Denial. Then I didn't think they would beat anyone else. Is Silence or NG looking to expand their shoutcasting pool? Shogun was introduced this season, and he's awesome. Are you guys looking to add a caster every season? It really depends on how much time everyone has. I think there are plans to try and add temporary people in case people have to miss. But I'm not sure of that exactly, how that's all playing out. That's not really my line. But I think there is a possibility for like more temporary people that are not like full-time, but they come in on weeks where, say, like 3 of us need off for some odd reason. It's just good coverage. I don't think we're adding too much more because right now we're already kind of like struggling to find spots for people at this point. Like with 3 play-by-plays, like Leaf got the short end this time, getting a little bit less games. And if you add 3 colors, then that means Carpet and Lawler start losing some time, and we didn't really need it. So I don't see it expanding incredibly unless like the next season has like a lot more games for some reason or more days. Then it's a possibility, I guess. But for now, I don't see it happening. So continue on to media day was good. We got to get out a little bit earlier, which was nice. I don't remember what we did that day. We didn't really do much. We kind of just hung out. It was more of like a relax and like, all right, you all just traveled here. Here's the day to catch up a little bit. Thursday's rehearsal day, but they don't ever need us till like 1 in the afternoon. So it's after lunch and all that stuff. And the lunches and dinners are all provided. Like Twitch does a great job with the players of catering and lunches and then taking out the players for dinner or just catering it as well. So Thursday is rehearsal day. We had to stay there. It was like 1 to 9, but we had to show up at 10, I believe it was. So we did rehearsals. And honestly, it's more of like a tech thing for the production. We normally are kind of okay with how we're going to swing it. We kind of just do it by the seat of our pants, basically. So that's not too difficult for the desk. And then casting, obviously, it's the same. So it's just making sure that your levels are right. Like there's a mix of monitor volume versus you're in the other caster, or then they have to work on, you know, obviously voice levels and stuff like that. So that's usually what it is. It's more techie. So we do that. The desk's pretty simple because we just have headsets, and honestly, we don't need really to hear much, but we still need levels for the director and the in-game audio. But usually we just take our headsets off so we can listen with the crowd during the game because that's a lot more fun, obviously. So that was Thursday. Thursday night, we got some pizza late and talked over like storyline points that we all wanted to hit. So that's what we did with the caster group to hit certain beats that we want to enforce basically with certain teams or just the team storyline in general. So we do that usually Thursday night just to make sure everyone's on the same page so there's no surprises and it helps a little bit. So do that Thursday and then we go into Friday and that. So it was funny. So I was rooming with Wavepunk. It was Wednesday night? I think it was Wednesday night. Well, Tuesday night, he said he was up to 3 a.m. because I was snoring. And then he finally fell asleep. Wednesday night, I was snoring again, and he started doing this like sound with his mouth, like a clicking sound, I guess to wake me, but not like talk so we don't both get woken up. So I'm like delirious. I'm like, what the fuck is this clicking? It's like an alien. And I was like, oh, I think it's Wave. I think I should roll over. So I rolled over. I went back to sleep. And then finally, on Thursday, I was like, all right, like mental note, I have to sleep on my stomach so I don't snore, so I don't wake up Wave. And he's like, oh, I finally slept like a rock. The only problem was I woke up at like 5:30 a.m. around, it was like 5:36, puking my brains out on Friday morning. So he woke up to that because I'm a very violent puker. So he was like, I literally thought someone was in the bathroom with a knife and killing you, Gibbs, is what Wave said. So I threw up 3 times before leaving. Then we're downstairs. We're about to leave. And I'm like, I probably should have brought a bag. And I was like, yeah, whatever. So we get on the bus to the venue. Shogun's sitting next to me. And I have my laptop bag on my chest, basically, because we're in the same seat. I'm like, I don't know why he sat next to me, because honestly, we had a pretty big open bus, but, you know, we love each other. Then I'm like, Shogun, you should probably move. I'm like, just in case. I'm like, I was feeling a little nauseous, but not much. As soon as I took the laptop bag off my stomach, it just was like, boom, right there in my mouth. And then I was like, oh, that was right. I should have got a bag. So I'm sitting there holding it in my mouth for about a minute while everyone on the bus is panicking, trying to find me a bag. So that was fun. I'm like, I didn't have anything left in me, thank God, so I could hold it in my mouth, but it was pretty gross. So that was a good time. I got to embarrass myself in front of a couple of players and like the Twitch staff, some of the parents. So that was, you know, fun. But I didn't get any on the bus or anything, so that was good. And then we did rehearsals. Like, we do rehearsals right before the doors open. The doors open like 2 hours before. So we show up 3 hours before, and we do a quick rehearsal then to make sure everything works. And then I had to puke again after that. And then I finally got some Dramamine, and I was good for the rest of the show, thank God. It was about an hour and a half before the show was my last throw-up. And then I was pretty much good. So that was fun. It was weird. Something similar happened to me in Amsterdam, but it was like on media day or the night before media day. I got really sick. I'm like, I don't know what is with this food, but I don't know. It's not nerves because I don't really care that much about like the crowds or anything. And we were also kind of away from the crowd a little bit more than last time, so it wasn't really nerves. Then we go into Friday. Friday's always fun. We get to open up the show. The crowd was absolutely insane. Like, triple, maybe quadruple what Amsterdam was loudness-wise. Like, Amsterdam was really quiet until the grand finals. Before the game was pretty cool because they cheered throughout our whole death segment. I think that might be more of a Europe thing than an American thing. Like, the Americans were generally quiet. Before that, they were also probably a little upset that energy got out. They were pretty quiet also during the first bracket. I thought the Amsterdam crowd was louder by a bit for their grand finals, for the first set at least, than LA. But then the second set, they really woke up and were getting really into it again, and then they were way louder again than Amsterdam, so that was fun. And it was also weird because we weren't even in the crowd as much. Like, we were off to the side, and we could still tell it was a lot louder. When in Amsterdam, we were actually right in the crowd, so it was a little different. But did Snasky let me touch his biceps? You know, I didn't ask. I probably could have. But yeah. So we go into the games. The whole point was I was going to say at the start of the desk that every time I get a pick 'em wrong, I was going to throw a shirt in the crowd. Then I forgot to say it at the start of the first one. So I was like, you know what? I'll just wait till I lose one. The problem was I didn't lose one until day 3. Yummy kind of spoiled the bag a little bit, or spoiled it a bit during day 2. But that was fine because then we started throwing shirts out for the for whoever got it wrong, so we could get some of the shirts out there. So that was a good time. Friday was insane. Some good games. Alpha Sydney's game was great. The Selfless Flipside was a great way to end. And then we had the show match, and it was pretty disorganized show match. We'll say that. We had like Xavier Woods come out. He was a cool guy. Like, we were chatting backstage and stuff. And then they wanted to put each other on their shoulders. I actually had a t-shirt slingshot, 3-man slingshot that I wanted to use, but I got shot down before using it because I also had shirts for that. And that would have been a lot of fun to launch them into the crowd. But, you know, liabilities and all that stuff. So it didn't work out. Then we played that, and The problem was, so I told everyone, like, don't play with headsets, obviously, because we want to hear the casters. The problem was you actually can't hear the casters on stage. It just sounds mumbled because the speakers were pointed towards the crowd and in front of us, so you can't really understand anything. So that kind of made it worse because we couldn't react to the casters. So I know Carp and Shogun, like, on purpose, were making fun of me and stuff, but I literally couldn't hear them, so it didn't help for that. And then when Leaf was up there, even hearing him was tough unless you were right next to him. With the microphone, so it was a little bit tough. And then I felt like the extra game, I think Xavier Woods started doing the chant for it, and we're like, I think we played enough, but everyone's like, you know, like, if he's going to chant one more game, let's do it. And I think that one extra game probably made it a little bit too long of a show, but it was fun nonetheless. Like, I know Carp and Shogun were like, man, we had nothing left for the last game. They couldn't, like, they didn't really have anything to say, is what they were saying behind stage. But it worked out. I actually did, like, I had one nice save against Rizzo, and then I scored right after, so I'll take it. But, yeah, so that was cool. 1-0 at LAN. Kronovi's 5-0. I got to catch up to him at some point. But we'll take the 1-0. I probably have the best win percentage ever at LAN. So I'll take it. A 75% win rate. Pretty good. Pretty good. Maybe Crow is higher. I'm not sure. He might. I'm not sure. Crow, Latch, and Over Zero would be the only ones. Yeah, longer show, more viewer rewards. People enjoyed it. Like, I heard there was a lot of complaints supposedly on Reddit, but I didn't see any. I didn't really care. We were having a good time, so it didn't matter to me. The crowd was having fun with it. The ones that stayed. Not everyone stayed, obviously, which is fine. So that was a good time, but then they also made the show a lot later ending, so we had to, like, kind of go back pretty quick and go to bed because Saturday was, well, we had, like, dinner at the hotel, but Saturday we had 8 games, obviously. So Friday night I finally ate something. I had one banana all day Friday, and that was after I threw up everything, so that was fun. But I still wasn't that hungry because I was sick. But I finally ate Friday night, and then I finally, like, settled. Thank God. Problem was on Saturday, my voice was gone from all the throwing up. Jay Berlin, 57. Thank you for the sub. 2 months in a row. Appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, so that's why my voice was just complete shit on Saturday. It wasn't really I lost my voice. I think it was more about, like, the violence of my throwing up. So it was a grand old time. So I had a good time. So Saturday was a great day, lots of games. So it's always sad to see teams get eliminated, but again, I went perfect on Saturday. I was shocked. I went 8 for 8 on Saturday. So we brought it into Sunday. Saturday again, the crowd was crazy. Signed a lot of mouse pads, like they were selling mouse pads and a couple shirts and stuff. I signed a couple shirts, mostly mouse pads, and that was just when I was on the desk, like during breaks, they would come over. Oh, let's talk about the Brisk commercials. So the Brisk commercials, me and James were like, oh God, like we knew this was coming. We hadn't, or James saw the final cut of them. I didn't see the final cut, so I had no idea how they were going to turn out. And so Friday was funny because people got to see them in the crowd as well. So they were all like cheering me at the desk, like after the commercials played. So I would like take a bow every time because it was pretty funny. But they came out pretty good. I think the first one where James drinks the Brisk, but I'm not mad about it, was the worst one. But the other two were pretty funny, and we had a good time with them. And except me and James are like, God damn it, now we're gonna hate every time there's a break because we hate seeing ourselves, obviously. So we're gonna hate that for all of that stuff. The funniest thing was on Sunday, I was doing a lot of autographs and pictures outside the Wiltern, and someone actually asked me to go, like, James, I'm serious. Like, and I'm like, this is weird that someone's asked me to do a line from a commercial I did. We did those commercials, what was it? It was right before playoffs, so it was on that Friday before playoffs. So that was, it was only about 3 weeks ago. That was also the time I was, like, deathly ill. Like I said on Twitter a couple times, I'm like, this is the perfect time to get sick. I had to set my hotel room like 80 degrees every single night to sweat it out. So, fun. So I was really sick during those commercials, but it still worked. So I don't know. It was the 2 times I've been sick recently. I haven't been sick all that much before that, but I guess travel does that to you here or there. Yeah, but guess it didn't matter, huh, James? Yeah, that one. I was like, I didn't really feel it was all that great. Cooks are 22 months in a row. You are absolutely insane. I will be streaming more soon. Cooks are about another 2 months.
Love how I am only able to catch your streams like once a month, max forehead.
In about 2 months, I will be streaming more regularly because Giblet will be going into daycare. What's up, dude? I can't sleep at anything more than 70. Yeah, normally I can't either. Like, we keep our house at 60. But I needed to sweat it out, so. Excuse me. Getting some burps here. But, so, where was it? Saturday was great. It's a really long day, though, and I was still kind of sick, so I didn't really see a lot of people. And I was kind of upset about that, but then we go into Sunday. Sunday, obviously, Championship Sunday. Started losing some of my picks there. I had the conundrum of, for the Market Northern Series, I figured, like, at that point, I'm like, Northern's probably got this. But I figured Market still had a chance. But at that point, I'm like, I called Market 2 months ago. I have to stay with Market. Hopefully this isn't being picked up. My humidifier just went on, but I think we're good. But I'm like, I got to stay with Market at this point for storyline purposes. And so I would look like a genius if they actually win. Northern wound up winning. It was a great series. I love when it's a bracket reset and goes to 7 games. Very defensive series. A lot of fun to watch. Yeah, it was a great tournament all in all. And my best moments, or my favorite moments from the entire weekend, were when Cooks here scores the selfless goal, and then Mark has to take off his headset and hug him. When Energy beat Flipside and Greasy's the first one over there smiling and hugging them. Then Wave posted a picture of like a Garrett and Turtle hugging, and then the players at the end all coming out and just like hugging the winners. That shit I love, and I'm glad that our community is like that compared to a lot of other games or like shooters and shit where it's all like cutthroat and stuff. I'm really glad that everyone like in the moment obviously is going to compete, but then right after has a smile on their face, like, and are happy for the other players and all that stuff. So it's always good to see that. Oh, chat died? All right, well, let me fix that. That happens from time to time. Yeah, Devo played out of his mind. It was a really close MVP vote. I think Devo won by 1 vote between everyone. Me and James were arguing like throughout the entire last series. Like, if Northern wins, does Devo get it or Turbo? He kept saying Turbo. I kept saying Devo. Turbo, to me, played really well in the earlier series versus weaker opponents. And then when it came down to it versus Energy and versus Market, like, the difference, because those games are very defensive, and I felt like Devo's plays were the ones that would crack open the defense, and only Devo could make those plays at that point. So that's why I thought Devo deserved the MVP. And then I asked Remco after the series, too, and he pointed at Devo. So I was like, all right, I made the right choice. So I was happy with that. The NA crowd never booed the EU teams. The only time they booed was when we would pick against an NA team on the desk because they're trying to rib us a little bit more. And that only happened like twice. And then they booed some answer from Mystic when he was purposely trying to be a dick. I'm pretty sure. And that was it. That was the only times they booed. They never actually booed them during games or anything like that. The crowd was just, they would cheer a little bit less for EU, but the crowd overall was absolutely insane. And I don't know why people get all salty about that. Like, I guess it's a lot of European crowds who are like, you should cheer on everyone equally. It's like, North America, they always have a lot of a national pride and stuff like that. So, like, I thought it was a ton of fun hearing chants like USA and stuff. And then other people were like, why are they chanting USA when Denial's playing? I'm like, they never chanted USA during Denial. The crowd only chanted USA for Rogue and Energy, to my knowledge. Maybe Selfless, but I don't think they did. Crowd was absolutely insane. It was a lot of fun. And, like, I love the home field crowds, though. Like, I would love if Europe was... And Europe was always louder for Flipside. It's not like it was, like, even as well there. It was just... They were overall quieter in general, so it didn't really get picked up on the mics. But I wish Europe would just be going ham for their European teams and really rooting them on. The NA crowd was also cheering on OCE a lot as well, cheering on Alpha Sydney a ton. So that was their other like underdog story. So it was a lot of fun. Violent Panda, what's up, man? Dude, your land performance season 2 was great. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so Sunday we crown a champion, and always like the best part of every show is right after the show ends, because you know you're done. We go outside, we take some pictures, and then I was outside for like an hour, maybe a little bit longer, taking photos and signing stuff. The weirdest thing I signed was a cigarette. Then someone asked for a piggyback ride for a picture, so I did that, and then someone had me quote the Brisk commercial. So those were the 3 weirdest. Then I signed a couple other things, you know, obviously, like the normal stuff. No signing of any skin. I was a little disappointed. Slackers, all of them. But yeah, it was great. And Sunday night is our party, and we all get to hang out with the players and the fans. Like, the only thing I don't like about our parties is there's like a VIP section, and it's like a closed off room. So it's like just the players and like a couple extra people. And most of the players kind of just hung out in there all night. I hung out in the normal area. I was hanging out with a lot of the Psionics people. I was hanging out with like Jessica, who is Dave's wife, the CEO, and then Mitchell. Saw Corey for a bit. That's about it. There's a few others that would fly in here or there. But it's always fun seeing all the fans and stuff. I got a pink dildo as a present from someone at Season 2 land. Better present than I've ever got, Violent Panda, so that's pretty impressive. But yeah, so overall, it was a great weekend. The crowd was absolutely insane. The community's nuts. It's just so much positive, like, reinforcement from everyone. Like, players to players, players to the crowd, crowd to the players. Just so much positive energy. So, it was a lot of fun. I'm going to check my Twitter, see what questions were posted on my thing, and then we'll go into, like, I didn't have too many questions on here, and then we'll take questions from the Twitch chat, if you guys have any. Maxon RLCS, best goal of the whole weekend. I would say the best mechanical goal was the Devo, like, pass off the ball reset goal, but it took a little while for that to score, and at that time, it didn't seem like it was going to be a big impact goal. It turned out to be, but like the best goal, like crowd reaction stuff, was the Cooksier 0-second goal, and then the overtime winner versus Selfless. The crowd was going absolutely nuts. We were all going absolutely nuts, so that was a lot of fun. Chief 87S, best player from OCE. I would say Jake really stepped up. I thought he was playing really well on the defensive end. He was also the best player for Alpha City at their last LAN as well. It seems like in the live environment, he shines. So, it was, I would say Jake, probably from Alpha City. Do you think Season 4 of the RLCS will see a significant jump in the prize pool from Sad Panda? I don't know, honestly. Haven't heard much about the prize pool for Season 4. We'll see. I assume Silence is going to gradually increase over time. Like, they really want to make sure it never decreases. So, I wouldn't expect a huge jump, but we'll see. And I think that's it for here. Now, if you have any questions in chat, just throw an @. It's a little bit easier. Yeah, Selfless was playing so well, and then, like, and Timmy had a really good series, and then Timmy just that one bad touch out. All he had to do was sit behind the ball, but, you know, it's like a panicky play. He doesn't know exactly where Cooks is, so he wants to get rid of the ball from the front of his net, and it just didn't really work out for him. But then Cooks obviously scoring. The casters didn't notice the jump reset. Yeah, it's extremely hard to notice, and it was on auto cam, and it was just like chaos. It was not the easiest to see. Would you like to see Yummy back next time? Yes, he'll definitely be back, as long as OCE is still there, which I would assume so. So. He did a great job. We actually gave him some death segments on the 3rd day. The plan was to only do OCE ones, and then he was doing so good, we gave him death segments on the 3rd day. So, how far would Selfless have gone in the lower bracket with Dapper? It's tough. They probably would have beat Denial, but then lost to Northern, you would think, because Northern was their next matchup. So, not much further, maybe another $1,000. Do you think Selfless makes a different decision if they beat F3 on day 1? Dapper was saying that he might play if they beat Flipside on day 1, but then, like, his parents were like, no, because they flew out all their family for the graduation. So I think Dapper wanted to, but I don't think he would have actually been able to. And that was just unfortunate because it was also, even if Selfless won that game, they were going to play in match 4. And if they lost, then they were in match 5. So it was like they were both at the same time. Like he could have played in earlier games throughout the day because his graduation was a little bit later. But they weren't planned out that way. So it kind of sucked for Dapper. But oh well. Were you surprised by the amount of viewers this time? A bit. I expected over 100. I said 160. When like I was talking with the casters and we got to 197, I believe. So that was pretty cool. It was close to my number, but it was more, so that's always fun. A lot of people were disappointed we didn't hit 200K. I'm like, that's what season 4 is for, man. But 200K is a ton for one live event. So I was extremely happy, and like Rocket League Esports is here to stay. So I'm really excited about that. And everyone was super happy with the broadcast and all of that. Why do you think that G2 got eliminated the way they did? It's just they weren't figuring out their defensive rotations. Crow was doing a little bit of over-rotating. Rizzo was getting a bit confused. How much did you pay your makeup artist? I don't pay the makeup artist. That is a Twitch thing, I guess, or NG thing. I'm not even sure. But we use the same one for every event. Her name is Monique. Follow her on Twitter. I'm not sure what her whole thing is, but she's great. We love her. So she does a great job, and she's part of the family. So yeah. I hope one of these lands is in SF, so it's close to me. I mean, LA's pretty close. JJ too. So Self was absolutely crippled with Pluto. Not only does he not really fit with the team, he's kind of fallen off. Like I think Pluto, like if he swapped with Timmy, I don't think it's the end of the world for them. It's just like the way Selfless plays with Timmy is you can't play that way with Pluto at all. So that's why I knew as soon as Dapper was gone, I'm like, they're not going to have any offense unless Miho somehow goes off and somehow Timmy goes off on the offensive side, but it didn't work out. Okay, so people are hearing the drill and sounds in the background. Hold on. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I didn't know if you guys could hear it all that well, but if you can, just turn it off. Supposedly people are saying the peak was 197. I don't know, but either way, whatever. I saw on some of the graphs that it was 197 as well, except it was like 202K with all the other foreign languages. What does it mean for you to be an RLCS commentator? It's like life-changing. It's like my dream job. It's been a lot of fun. I left my normal job almost a year now to the date, and it's been amazing. It's been great opportunities. It's really helped with Giblet as well, because then I can watch him during the week and all that stuff, see him grow. It's been a blast. It's extremely nerve-wracking during the season where we're out there for 5 days basically, and then I fly home for like 2.5, I guess, and then fly back out. Those weeks are kind of hard on both me and the wife and the baby, I would assume. But besides that, it's great. So, where will Turbo end up next season with NG? Bump someone from the current roster or form a new team? I don't know. I would assume Northern Gaming would stay the same. They were the best team in Europe when they had Maestro. So that means that they were the best team in the world. So you would think they would stay the same. Turbo will probably find some other squad, you would think. But I don't know. Maybe they keep Turbo. Maybe they throw away Maestro. Who knows? I don't see all four staying the same team. That seems like it just ruins the potential for Turbo or Maestro or whoever. So we'll see. Will the next line be back in EU? I would assume so. I don't know where it is, but I would assume so. What RAM is Giblet right now? I don't know. I don't know what that means. What age, maybe? He is 9 months old. Who do you think did the best as a guest desk analyst? I don't know. They all did fine. It was very casual. Like I like Crow probably the most by a little bit. He's actually extremely comfortable on camera, which is, it doesn't seem like he would be, but he is. So he did a great job. I thought he brought up some good points. But they all did like really, really well. So, how is the prize money divided for a team with a sub? I think that's up to the team to decide. I think basically, whatever event you're at, those 3 players just get the money from the RLCS people, which is why I brought up. I have a YouTube video at the start of the season of like, you guys should figure out what percentages you want to give to each other based on certain criteria. Like one I had, like say for Maestro, personally, I think he should be getting a third of the $5,000 because that's the default that you could win at LAN. And then Turbo should get a third of the 50K that they won extra because he won all that. Then if you want to add a little bit more for Maestro, yada, yada, you could. But I would say at least for that, that's what I would do for Maestro. And, of course, the playoffs, I would give it all to Maestro because Turbo didn't win his series that he played in. So that's how I would do it. But it's up to the players. Do I miss playing competitively? Not really, because it's a lot of work to stay really good, and I don't have the time. And honestly, I love my job, so I don't really miss it all that much. Playing on stage was actually fun. It was a good, it was a good barometer to see like how it is for the players, and I think that's a good thing to have going forward for more LANs. And honestly, like I felt zero nerves up there. You really don't notice the crowd at all, and I didn't even have headphones on. You're kind of just playing with your friends. Like, at least for me, I didn't notice the crowd at all while playing because you're also just hidden behind your monitor. So it's just playing on a different setup is a little bit weird. And but yeah, I didn't really notice the crowd. I don't really get nervous at this point in front of crowds, which is amazing because I hate public speaking. We also talk in front of the crowd. We talked in front of them Friday and Saturday about 10 minutes before the show started to hype them up a bit. And I don't get nervous then either. It's weird. I just don't get nervous at all in front of you guys that all love the same thing that I love. So pretty happy about that. Let's see the next question. Hopefully, do you think Scrub will make some waves when it comes to age? Potential link up with Bluey, maybe? I don't know who he'll link up with, but he will probably make some waves. I would assume some team that has some security might even take out a third roster member and throw in Scrub at some point, but we'll see. Because it's also his immaturity. We'll see how that plays. We'll see if people want to risk that in the first season and all that. Because, you know, he'll be super young when he comes in. But he's played in front of live events before and played really well. So you would think people would want him. But we'll see. Was it weird having Johnny on stage? No, it was fun. He's a pro. He knows what he's doing. So it was fun. It's just... since he's on a flip side thing, it's very centric around flip side, so that's why it's like, meh. It's like he's got to talk about flip side and all that, which is fine, but that's why I thought Crow was a little better, because Crow could just kind of talk about whoever he wanted, which was kind of nice. Did I first hear about Rocket League? I played SARP BC, the game, the prequel that came out like 8 years ago. I played it on launch day because I saw it on like a PlayStation blog. So, how did you go 12-0 and then get every prediction wrong? Tilt out. I think I finished like 14-4 or 14-5, I guess. Like Mocket Northern, I like honestly I wanted to pick Northern, but I wanted to keep the storyline going with Mocket. Mocket actually played better than I thought they would, making it all the way to 7 games, but they played really well. Have you ever thought about your career past Rocket League? Not really. Maybe eventually. Like I don't have to be necessarily talent on screen. I don't really care about being on camera all that much. I think people like me on camera because I seem natural and I'm not trying to sound fake, so I think that helps. But I don't really care about being on camera. Like I would love to help organize and like make tournament formats or stuff like that for other games. Like I think I could do that really well. And then I could probably just be on the desk for some other game. It wouldn't be that difficult, but I don't really care about doing that. So whatever. The EU teams, like you can't really hear the crowd all that much when you're playing anyway. Like I don't think the EUs care too much. Like they might hear it when something goes really off, but it's fine. The EU teams didn't care. Well, new seasons come every 3 months now. I believe they said they wanted to shorten the seasons, so I believe seasons are going to be coming more fast and quick. We'll see what the reaction is to this season, and then I guess Psyonix will change it based on that. How disappointing was it for Energy? I feel like they could have used a coach between the Mock Series and the NG Series. Also, feel like there was a chance F3 out, Passion out, Land, NG playing with the sub, that this was their year. I think they were happy with the top 4. Like, they wanted a top 4. Obviously, once you win both and then, like, going into day 3 and you go 0-2, it's a little bit more disappointing than if you rode it through the lower bracket and then came in third that way. But I think they were overall happy. And now they've had a 7th, a 5th, a 3rd. So they keep getting better and better slowly. So I think they should keep their heads held high and they'll have a chance at the next one. Like, they played Mocket really close. Like, if they didn't give away that game 2, where Mystic scored 3 goals in 26 seconds to win, then they could have won the whole thing or at least came in second to Northern. So, and they still probably could have won that series, like at least on the second round. They did seem like they were playing with a bit of nerves a little bit during the series, so they got to be careful with that. Potential replacements for Mio, I assume the whole team doesn't stay together. I would assume Dapper would try and look around and shop around. I think it's kind of difficult to play with Timmy if you can only play on the weekends, but I would assume Dapper shops around, but I'm not sure. Do I have a full set of painted hard hats? I have most of them. I kind of gave up on it because there's just it just took too long. Did Awesome Joey touch me? Yes, he touched me all the time. Joey was great. He was hanging out with all of us and hanging out with the players. Everyone had a good time. Why the 2 different headphones for players on stage? Earbuds and over-the-ear. So the over-the-ear is for the comms. That's where the player chat comes in. And also white noise is piped in there. And then the earbuds is for game audio. So that is a separate audio line. And that is for your game audio. Tarentism. When you were kicking me out of 2v2 tournaments 8 years ago, did you expect RL to get this big? Like, especially this fast? Absolutely not. It's been insane that it's got this big. But what's going on, man? Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, we have live crowds. We have 200,000 people watching. It's absolutely insane. What happened to pro rankings? I'm not sure what you mean. Did Joey get arrested for shoulder red flag? Like, the players didn't care about the shoulder stuff at all. like all of them, like, it was fine. Like, they didn't care. So, the format for getting into league play changed next season. I think there's some small changes coming next season. I haven't heard about all of it, but I think there is some small things changing. But I don't know if it's a ton or not yet. I think it's still being worked out. So, keep a lookout, and we'll see in a bit. Someone needs to tell the players to speak up and project their voice when they get interviewed on stage. Honestly, I don't think the players give a shit about the interviews on stage. Most of them don't care because they're here to play Rocket League. It does help for personality stuff to, like, when you're walking out, have something fun, like what Rogue was doing, really got the crowd hyped and stuff like that. Like, I told Garrett to do the Superman pose where you like pull the shirt apart, but he wouldn't do it. But again, like, it doesn't matter. Like, if the players don't want to, they don't have to, so it's fine. How many players would I like, or how many teams would I like added for each reason in Season 4? I don't really want any teams added. I think we're at a good number right now. Like, league play, like, if you add 2 more teams, it means more lopsided matches and a lot longer of a season. And then if you're talking about a LAN, we already have a lot. I would love to see, like, a new region be added, like South America. It's probably on the short list, or Japan maybe, or something like that. Would be cool. EU Open Qualifier is going to be a bloodbath with only 5 spots open. I disagree. I think it's actually going to be the most accurate qualifier there is, because none of these teams have to worry about having to play a team like Northern, Flipside, or Mocket that are all extremely strong. So you're actually going to get a more accurate bracket because it's going to be closer matchups throughout. So I think it's actually going to be a little bit fun to see that, instead of like, oh, crap, they put us as the 8th seed because they felt like it and we have to play Flipside in the uppers, and now we have to win our next match no matter what. Now, instead, the hardest match that you have is if the leftovers are still a team together. That's your hardest matchup, which isn't that terrible compared to having 3 of the juggernauts from Europe. So I think that actually will make it a little bit more fun. That moment when Jacob curses on you, yeah, it was funny. It was good. It's like, whatever. I don't think people cared all that much. You know, like, obviously they don't want you cursing, but. And then he goes and wins the TFH Community Award the next day, or 2 days after. I guess it was the next day after he says fuck on stage, which is great. I don't think G2's demise was their playstyle being outdated. I think they just kind of started screwing up their rotations compared to earlier in the season. I think we're going to start closing out. I'm going to start finding a host, guys. If you have any last questions, get them in. But honestly, it was another amazing LAN. I can't wait for season 4, whenever that may be. And yeah, we're going to have a good time. Gonna have a good time. Hopefully we can see some new faces there. And I love doing this. I love hanging out with the community. So keep it up. Let's give it over to Latch. Probably give it a Latch once we're done here. Voice is slowly coming back, but still a little raggedy. Prior talked about it. How did Leftovers do so good? Kingslayers really. I feel like Leftovers had one good series the entire weekend, and it happened to be against Flipside. They got, like, I think they also played well, like, against Alpha, but playing against Sham wasn't too difficult. But they played pretty well against Alpha. Like, I thought Alpha played a little bit down to them as well. And then they played one really good series, like, against Flipside, and they also made Flipside look bad, which is great. But they show up when they need to, and that's what they've always done. So good on them. But yeah, it worked out for them. And yeah, nice 4th place finish for them. That's pretty good. I think they'll take it. Will I be attending DreamHack in Atlanta? No, I will not be attending either DreamHack this summer. Taking a little time, hang out with the baby. And I'll be back for, like, I'll be around for the Brisk Summer Series, except for the first one. And then I will be around, obviously, for Season 4, whenever that may start. Hey, thanks, Mr. Harry Balls. Appreciate it, buddy. Any tips on help getting me out of Platinum or getting me to Platinum? I mean, honestly, it's different for everyone, but it's usually what being patient with the ball and using your time with the ball effectively is the main thing. Will there ever be an East Coast line? I hope so. I hope so. It'd be a lot easier for me, but who knows? All right. Well, the last question I'll probably take is who can expect to see roster shuffles from, or who can we expect? It looks like G2 is keeping JNaps. I thought JNaps might leave. Looks like he's staying. Looks like he flirted a bit with the Muffin Men, but we don't know why he's going back to G2. But he's going back to G2. I assume Denial will be a different team. I'm not sure who is leaving, but I assume that'll be different. I think Rogue stays the same. I don't know who they would drop because like they can only drop one player. It's like the 2/3 rule. So I don't. The only player I could see them dropping is Sizz, but I doubt it. And then like Energy is going to stay the same, obviously. I think in Europe, I assume Flipside will stay the same. Leftovers, who knows with them? I feel like if one of them gets an opportunity somewhere, they might take it, but I could see them staying together. Northern, I think Maestro comes back and is a starter. I think Turbo leaves, and then Turbo, who knows? Turbo might change some things for some teams as well. Like maybe he goes to Leftovers or something, but I don't know. I have no idea where he goes. Maybe he forms his own team. And what was that team? Mocket. I assume Mocket stays the same. I think they're a pretty good team. I think Mystic, he's crazy. He's crazy good. And then just allowing Fairy Peak and Kate Up to do their 2v2 things. Obviously, they're good friends. So I think they stay the same. And then pretty much like any other roster that didn't make LAN, who knows? It could be completely different since they don't have to stay the same. Probably be some roster shuffles there. Do you think Leftovers would drop Farrah for Pashy? No, that won't happen. Pashy and Siki, like they've had like it's not like terrible blood, but they've bad blood. Like I don't think Siki plays with Pashy again. And also like Pashy's a different style of player than Farrah, so I assume Pashy just makes his own team. So. Okay, I think that's it for the questions. I hope you guys enjoyed the RLCS. It seemed like everyone pretty much did, so happy to put on a good show for you guys. If you have any criticism for me, feel free to throw it to my email or through like Twitter DMs. Like my DMs aren't open, but throw it to my email if I'm not following you. And yeah, I'm always happy to see what I can improve and stuff. And there's always like things that I want to improve anyway. I'm my harshest critic. So, but thank you guys so much, man. We hit so close to 200K, if not more. Absolutely insane. Rocket League is here to stay. And let's give a host over to Latch and call it a night. And the other thing I was going to say with my stream schedule in August-ish, it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be somewhere around August, maybe September. Gibbons going into full-time daycare. So once he does that, obviously RLCS, whenever that starts. Besides that, I will try and stream regularly during the week. I'm going to try and add some tournaments, some solo standard tournaments for Twitch subs / Patreon people. And there'll be more chances for viewer games and try and change things up here and there. So that's when you'll see me get more on the ball with streams. But thanks for all the support during my downtime or during my time where I'm extremely busy. And yeah, we'll see you a little bit later. Thanks, Woody. Love you too, man.